Okay, we're gonna talk about this, even though they're not making a deal about it. They dancing and singing around. Um, I don't see too much outcry about this situation, but I gotta speak on it. I gotta speak on it. I don't know. I decided I wanted to go live instead of doing a pre-recording, so I'm trying out this live thing. Um, One person in the building. Hey. Anyway, what the fuck is going on with this racist stuff? I never knew that before. I'm in my bed laying back on my pillow, so if I look like I'm almost laying down, I ain't even trying to get out the bed for this shit, but I just know what I am going. Um I'm not going to be spending that much money with Chinese people. Like they have everything that us black people like. They make sure that they sell it, And then we always buying Chinese food. We go to work. We don't feel like cooking or whatever the situation is, so we stop by and get the Chinese food because they got the fried chicken wings, and we like fried chicken wings and all that stuff. Got our rice ready and everything like that. So blacks. I mean, I guess we didn't really know what was going on with the discrimination in China. But the COVID-19, this coronavirus, is really bringing out um, some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's really showing us a lot of stuff. Even in America, even in the United States, where um, they're not treating the black people. They're determining who they're going to save and who's going to live and who's going to die, who's going to get the ventilators and who's not going to get the ventilators, who they just going to let go ahead and die. So it's not just China. It's this is falling back from slavery. So this is taking us back 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So I just wrote some notes because I can't be remembering shit off the top of my head, so I'm gonna be like off the notes and stuff. But I did want to, touch on it. Okay, so as far as the food is concerned, us black people, we eat a lot of Chinese food. When a Chinese man open up a store, the saying is that don't if a Chinese restaurant been there before, don't don't rent that location. Don't lease that store because he done drained out all of the money. And I guarantee you that money is from black people, mostly black people purchasing their food. The women go to the nail salons. Then they have the beauty supply stores where they sell the weaves and the wigs and stuff like that. Um, Everything that a black female want or black people use, they make sure they stock up on it. They make sure that they are our suppliers for everything. You understand what I'm saying? And we have no problem purchasing, from them because they speak a different language, so we don't know what the hell they talking about. And I guess they understand us, but we're not trying to learn, Chinese. So I guess that's the cutoff of communication that we don't understand. Sometimes, they talk in their language and they be like hostile or whatever the situation is, and then we know that they upset about something or whatever the situation is. But other than that, um, we had no clue what was really going on in China. We had no clue how they really feel about us or whatever the situation is. But our hard work and money, that our paychecks all go to China. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're not buying Chinese food, we going to the discount stores. You know what I'm saying? We going to the supply store. We going to the nail shops and stuff like that. You know, so anything that we could ever want, or all our beauty supplies and stuff like that, everything they always stock up on that. So we made them rich. You understand what I'm saying? But we can't open up nothing ourselves. Black people can't open up nothing, no kind of store, and I blame it on us because we don't support each other. We always support other nationalities when they open up stores and locations and selling stuff. But if a black person open up something, the other black people is going to be jealous. They don't want to see you come up. So it's like crabs in a barrel. So it's our fault. We are at fault for people treating us like that. We're not sticking together. So I see that, people having dance offs, you know what I'm saying? They're having music battles and all kind of stuff like that. And, you know, this thing, it came out like about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, about China. You know what I'm saying? They're kicking the black folks out of their houses. They letting them live on the street and starve in the street. They don't want them to in the McDonald's and stuff and the restaurants and stuff out there in China. What else is they doing? And come to find out, they have like an art gallery. They have an art gallery where they put a black person face compared to like a gorilla or a tiger to next to animals to say like we are, similar looking to animals. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's like a professional art gallery that they got up. With If you Google it, you can see that you know it's like something normal, and we never knew about it. Like I never knew about it. I don't know if anybody else ever knew about it, but I do have friends that don't ever eat Chinese food. And I wonder why, oh no, I don't eat no Chinese food. My mother cooks for me or whatever the situation is, but ain't nobody never told me like the story behind why they don't eat Chinese food. It's just a few blacks that I know that don't go in a Chinese restaurant and eat Chinese food, but they didn't give me no backstory other than that they eat at home and their mothers, cook at home. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard of all of this racism. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we eat so much goddamn Chinese food. We damn near Chinese. We damn near cousins with the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? And they so much in our communities, as far as business is concerned. As far as living is concerned, not really. We have blacks and Puerto Ricans in the minority communities. A few Chinese is starting to buy houses uptown in the Bronx and stuff like that. I'm starting to notice that they're starting to buy properties. But I heard I heard that they buying up the land in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So you are prejudiced against blacks, but you want to go and buy up the Africa. You want to buy up their land, and I guess because Africa is, rich with diamonds and stuff like that. They digging and they got a lot of diamonds, I guess, in the soil or in the earth. You understand what I'm saying? In Africa. So China is buying up Africa, but they don't even really, when it comes down to it, they showing prejudice and racism and discrimination against us. So, I mean, like when I was growing up, I used to love to eat the rice. I used to do my little babysitting jobs and have my money in my pocket and stuff like that. We go get our Chinese food. That's back when they used to put the egg in it. But black people been so choosy about how they want their food cooked and stuff, so they start taking the ingredients out. So I don't even really like the way they make the rice now anyway, because they took out the eggs, and they took out, vegetables and stuff like that. All of that stuff they used to chop up in the rice and stuff, when I was a kid and stuff like that. And now I notice that they don't put none of that stuff in there. You know what I'm saying now? So they're not even really, you know, cooking with the all the ingredients that they used to. You know what I'm saying? Their food is not as good as it used to be. And yeah, since a kid, I was a kid spending my own money. Like me and my cousins and, my sisters and stuff like that. We used to, do our little jobs as kids, babysitting and cleaning the house and stuff like that. And we used to take our monies and we used to go to the discount stores and, purchase our own stuff, our own socks and underclothes and hats and scarves and whatever we needed and stuff like that. You always be like a Chinese like discount store, and they just be like sitting up there having everything. The little jellies, we used to wear these shoes called jellies and espadrilles and all kind of shit like that. And these Chinese stores been selling to us. You know what I'm saying? We've been spending our money with them for years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm no longer a young child. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old lady now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so heartbreaking to find out now that they don't even like me. They don't even like us. You know what I'm saying? They don't even like us. You know what I'm saying? Because if the virus started in Wuhan, China, however you say it, Wuhan, if the virus started there, right? Um, it started in China. How did they try to shift the blame to a black man, to a black person? Why are they kicking black people out? I don't know. I think I heard something where they said somebody black was doing something nasty. No, you have all kind of mental people. We have mental people. We had like this white guy that was licking a toilet bowl and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Amidst all of this coronavirus, and since the outbreak started, since the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? People just been doing crazy stuff. They on the trains, on the subways, having sex and getting naked on the subways and stuff. So the best thing to do is to stay away from public transportation, buses and subways and stuff like that. So I think they found some guy or something like that, like being nasty or trying to spread the coronavirus or something. I guess he was black or whatever. That's just a rumor. I didn't see no video about that or anything like that. You understand what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, because Donald Trump was calling it the Chinese virus. You know what I'm saying? Because it came from Wuhan, it came from China, and I was watching it and stuff like that coming. And I said, this thing is coming over here. They shutting everything down in China. They springing the streets and stuff like that. And Chinese people was getting on flights and stuff and going to different, coming to the states and stuff like that. So I was watching it, and I started keeping my child home before it even reached here. The week, that week when they started shutting things down, and then they started you know, they didn't close the schools first. You understand what I'm saying? The elementary schools and stuff, they didn't close the schools. The Catholic schools started shutting down and stuff. So I just kept my child home. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they got all the nail salons, beauty supply stores. They sell all the weaves and the wigs, everything that they know of black or female. I don't wear weaves and wigs and stuff like that. I don't even wear makeup and stuff like that. So this is my natural look. This is the ugliest I'm gonna get. I braid my hair to the back. You know what I'm saying? And you know how they braid their hair like this and then they throw a wig on and stuff. I don't throw no wig on. I don't throw no wig on. You know what I'm saying? So they have everything, to beautify, for black women. They know we like to, they like to wear weaves and wigs and straighten their hair, everything, flat irons and, everything they selling us. You know what I'm saying? So, we fell in love with the Chinese, I think from Bruce Lee. Like when I was a kid, we used to watch Bruce Lee and do his karate and stuff, and we had, blacks and Puerto Ricans used to practice karate like in their houses or in their basements and stuff. And they used to give classes and bring all the kids, bring us all down in the basement and teach us karate moves and stuff like that. All of that shit from watching Bruce Lee. So, we like the Bruce Lee. I love me some Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what got me hooked on with Chinese people is like Bruce Lee, and I like the Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got to do all of that washing, cleaning, and flour, and then you got to clean up the kitchen. You just go to the Chinese restaurant; they got everything that we want to eat. You know what I'm saying? So we've been spending our money with the Chinese people. We've been making them rich. You understand what I'm saying? While we be crabs in a barrel towards each other and keep each other down. Because I even opened up my own store. I had a cleaning business at one point, and my own people was blackballing me and telling people not to go into my store. You know what I'm saying? So my own people was, I get more racism from my own people than, what I'm saying, than from white people. You understand what I'm saying? But this is just a shock to me. I know it ain't going to be a big issue. They're not going to make no big issue about the situation anyway. So they do all of the selling and the selling to us the products and cooking and all of that stuff like that for us. Everything that they study us, everything that they know that we want and we love, they sell it or they make it. You understand what I'm saying? So they cater here in the States, they cater to us, to our wants and our needs, and they sell to us. You know what I'm saying? But it's come to find out that they prejudice towards us in their country. They look down on us, and they discriminate against us, and they compare us to animals. You know what I'm saying? To monkeys and to the lions, and just matches us up with animals, side by side pictures of a black human with an animal to show similarities, like like we're animals. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, we came up with human. You know what I'm saying? So man has come up with human. You understand what I'm saying? You know, all of the animals, you've got different kind of animals, and then you have and they eat each other, they kill each other, and they eat each other. And we also are savages. We also eat red meat. You understand what I'm saying? Only thing we do is that we do it in a pretty way. You know what I'm saying? You have the farmers out there, killing the chickens, or slaughtering the animals and stuff, and sending it to the stores and stocking them up for us, and then it's packaged pretty, and it's stamped with a price and stuff like that, but it's still animal we eating. Blacks is eating it, whites is eating it, Chinese is eating it, everybody's eating animals. You understand what I'm saying? So unless you're a vegetarian. And so yeah, we are all some kind of creatures. You understand what I'm saying? We're not sure where we come from. They still going out to Mars, and you know what I'm saying. Trying to find out how we was created from the begin with. They don't know if we came from monkeys. We don't know. They don't know if we, came from another planet. Maybe we are the aliens and stuff. We're looking for aliens, but we might have dropped in from another planet out of space from somewhere. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's the Adam and Eve story. Who knows? You understand what I'm saying? But we are all here eating other creatures. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like all humans are eating plants and vegetables, and the blacks is the only ones that eat animals. So they are similar to animals. You understand? That's the only way that you could say that. If we was the only savages, but we all savages, we all eating animals and red meat, and which I don't eat a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I do like a burger once in a while, or I like chicken once in a while, or curry chicken or something like that. I might go to Jamaican restaurant, but I'm not an everyday meat eater because I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm trying to get back fit, and slim down on my body and stuff. And I won't be eating no more Chinese food. Before I eat Chinese food, I'll get all the ingredients and make it myself if I have to buy me a goddamn wok pot. You understand what I'm saying? I could add the fried rice and add the eggs and the onions to my rice myself. I don't really need, I usually go to them for shrimp with broccoli and stuff like that, and then they have the white rice on the side and stuff like that. But that shit I can do myself. You understand what I'm saying? I could make a gravy with shrimp, and I could boil my own broccoli, and I could make me a pot of white rice. Right now, I'm on a diet, so I'm not eating. I'm not eating that heavy right now. But yeah, you won't be seeing me in a Chinese restaurant. I know I'm gonna miss some of my stuff that I like to buy. But I think I'm gonna hold off on eating Chinese food, and I think all black people, I think we should pull back from it. We'll eat from a Chinese restaurant before we'll eat from a soul food restaurant. It ain't even that many soul food restaurants around, so we have to turn to like Black Americans have to turn to Jamaican food, you know what I'm saying? Because there ain't even that many soul food restaurants around. You know what I'm saying? Unless I guess you go down in Harlem or something like that, you might find um, more soul food, down in Harlem in New York. Yeah, so it's crazy that I come to find out that China's prejudice against black people. I didn't know the problem was that serious, out there, whatever the situation is. So I guess we was blind to that situation. It's too many black people in a Chinese restaurant um, um, to think that we already knew how racist they was. We didn't know how racist they was because I don't think we would be in a restaurants like that. Mm. So they just, I'm making this live. Because I wanted to touch on this topic because they're trying to place the blame on us. The president Donald Trump, he said he started calling it the Chinese virus, and they got offended. And I guess they've been losing money because I know for sure Chinese delivery food through my neighborhood, it's like they be constantly coming, but since the coronavirus outbreak, they haven't been coming. You know what I'm saying? I guess people stopped ordering Chinese food. People stopped going to the Chinese restaurants and stuff like that. So because we found out the shit come from Wuhan, and then we start seeing videos of Chinese people, not no black Chinese people, the white skin color Chinese people. They was eating. They had like a market where they had like snakes and dogs and bats and cats and all kind of stuff. And I even seen a girl, a Chinese girl. She was eating a turtle, and she was eating snake and all kind of stuff. And she snapped the turtleneck off its body. Just her first bite was like bit the turtle head off. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what's up with that girl. You know what I'm saying? She be eating snakes and stuff, and they be live, and she just bite into their body. And I don't know how that tastes. Maybe it do taste good. Maybe snakes and turtles taste good, but I definitely ain't trying no bats and no rats. We be trying to keep them shits out of our houses. You know what I'm saying? We trying to keep mice and rats, out of our houses. We trying to, not let them attack us on the streets and stuff. Dogs is pets and cats is our pets and stuff. We use cats in our houses, as pets, and sometimes we use them um, to keep mice out. Because most of these apartment buildings and stuff, you have to do everything that you can do, you know what I'm saying, to um, keep the pests and keep the roaches and stuff like that down and keep the mice down. So we use cats. We don't eat cats, you know what I'm saying? And dogs is like, it's just a pet, you know what I'm saying? Dogs is pet. I don't deal with dogs, you know what I'm saying? I don't like dogs. I'm not a dog lover and stuff like that. But dogs is like part of people families. It's like members of people families. They're not eating. We're not eating dogs like in China. You understand what I'm saying? And out of the videos that came out of China, I didn't see any black people. Every time I see a video of somebody eating with bats and stuff, that's always like the white Chinese people. I never see the black Chinese people, the people in China that's black. I haven't seen a video of them doing anything like that. Only the white Chinese people. So I don't know how they try to shift the blame on black people. They just want to act like they want to take their nastiness, their nastiness, because they're nasty, and they want to shift it and blame it on black people. So they took the black people, right? And they started kicking them out of their houses. Well, they was being serious about the coronavirus from the jump street anyway. They was quarantining people, snatching them off the street, locking them up, and they was being very physical about that situation, locking people in their houses and grabbing people off the streets, and you know, basically kind of like kidnapping them, you know what I'm saying, off the streets if they thought you had coronavirus and you were spreading the coronavirus, whether you was a white Chinese or black Chinese person out there. But when they started blaming the black folks and stuff like that, they started kicking them out of their houses. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that you're supposed to go, like I guess their rules is not the same like here in the United States where you have to go through a court procedure to, kick somebody, to evict somebody. They just went in there and just kicked them out of their house and let them live in the street, let them starve down in the street and stuff like that, and start beating up on them like it's like we went back 100 years to slavery or something like that, just kicking and punching and fighting, on black people and kicking them out of their houses and letting them starve. And when I seen that, I was like, they really, Chinese people really don't like black people. They're, racist against black people. They're going to take this Chinese virus situation and they're going to try to shift the blame to black people, like black people is the nasty ones and this is why this shit jumped off. Black people is not in the labs, and we should be in the labs more. We are not in the labs, being chemists. We may have a few or whatever the situation is, but that's another topic for another story. You know what I'm saying? But we find ourselves in this situation and waiting for a cure, and we don't have our own black scientists and stuff that we can look to, and doctors that we can look to say, well, what is it? Like a Dr. Sabi or something, like what should we do? But we know what the hospitals is not going to do. The hospitals is not going to, um, they're not going to give us home remedies. So it was at one point with the virus where you go to the hospital and they just let you lay up there on the bed. They might not have a ventilator for you, or they may feel like you should be breathing on your own. So there's no medicine for it. So if you go into the hospital, you just laying up there in the bed. You understand what I'm saying? So the best thing that I would say I would do, if I caught the coronavirus, like I got apple cider vinegar, people got black seed oil, and different things, vitamin C, and stuff like that. And I guess some people get it worse than others. Some people need a ventilator, but they say with the ventilators, you can't stay on the ventilator, else you're going to die on the ventilator. It's best that you breathe on your own. It's best that you come off the ventilator. So being on a ventilator is not a good thing. But if you're at some point where, oh, I need help breathing, then a ventilator should be available to you. But once they give you that ventilator, you should try to breathe on your own. Else you're gonna sit there and die on that ventilator. And it's best to stay away from the hospitals. It's best to if your doctor could just send your medications that you need straight to the pharmacy. I wouldn't go to the hospitals right now for anything, because what you call it, the coronavirus is living in there. Sick people coughing all around and stuff like that, and you coming in for something simple and stuff like that, and then you end up with the coronavirus. So I would advise to stay away from the hospitals. And also, in China, they have some kind of parade or something like that they do, and they be in blackface and all kind of shit. It's all kind of shit that I'm finding out. And in the McDonald's situation, where like in my thumbnail, they had a paper written out to tell you um, blacks are not allowed. So it's not just somebody spoke it out of their mouth. They actually had a piece of paper in a McDonald's saying that blacks, if they wasn't letting blacks in the McDonald's in the restaurant, that's discrimination. I'm a real estate broker. I'm licensed. We can't practice discrimination against anybody. You understand what I'm saying? That's against our the laws, the state laws and stuff like that. They'll take my license from me if I practice discrimination. So I'm not even on here to like discriminate against China or anything like that. I'm just here to say that even though we still gonna see black people up in the Chinese restaurant supporting, and purchasing and making them rich and stuff like that, while the poor stay poor, they gonna still be, you're gonna still see some buying food and stuff like that. But I'm just here to say that um, we should, after the coronavirus, we should start supporting each other more, and, forming a tighter bond, stop hating on each other and stop killing each other. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is showing that, okay, if you get sick and you go in the hospital, they're not going to treat black people with priority. They're going to treat the rich and the famous people with priority. According to your both level, they're going to treat you with priority. And then they turn around and say, um, more black people. It's affecting more black people. So that's making it seem like we just being nasty people and we spreading it. We not being clean. We're not covering our mouths. We coughing out. We sneezing out. They're making it seem like, I don't know how it's getting in the black community, but I've been staying in the house. When I go outside, I go with a mask and I go with my whole head covered. You know what I'm saying? And I wear glasses. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know how it's getting put into certain communities or how people's being affected. Maybe they got on a plane flight or they've been at a concert, before they start closing things down. I think the people that's like public figures, they was easily to contract it first. That's why Idris Elba, he was tested because he was on a movie set. He was around people and in people's faces. I'm surprised more like rappers and singers and stuff like that, didn't come down with it. Fred the Godson is in the hospital with it. Hopefully he gets better. Um, So, it's mostly like with people that, hang around in crowds mostly. Me, I'm always like an isolated person. I've been, staying like in my house. So this ain't no like big deal to me, but I do want to go outside and jog and stuff like that to work my weight down along with my diet. I like to jog. So I do want to go out like at least to a park or something like that and run around a track or whatever the situation is. So it's affecting me that way. And it's also affecting me in a way where, you know, the weather's getting warm and I have to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? I got to wrap up people's coming out with masses, but to me that's not enough. I do the shirt thing where I put the shirt on, tied around my back, and flip it over my head and make it almost look like a Muslim or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I cover my whole shit and I wear glasses, and the weather is warm, so that's how it's affecting me. Other than that, staying in the house, I don't mind staying in the house. I'm kind of fine with that, but going out to work and stuff like that, interacting with other people, showing properties, just doing your job that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think what had happened was they started seeing us slowing down from eating a food, coming in the restaurants, and some people have even attacked. Some Chinese people has been attacked by black people. That was on video. On World Star on a train, some black dude, was harassing a Chinese person and saying stay away from me and stuff like that because it come from Wuhan. So the first thing you're gonna think Chinese people got it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they just came from China or something like that. Or this is something that we get from them. So since that blame has been you know been shifted on them around the globe, you know what I'm saying? Now they trying to place it on black people. And I don't see a big outcry. You know what I'm saying? I see artists, our big artists and stuff like that, dancing and singing and having battles and stuff on Instagram and stuff like that. But I don't see them talking about it, so I'm talking about it. Um, with this one, I'm not. A lot of stories I let get past me, but this one, I'm not gonna let get past me. This one I have to talk about. So they see the slowdown of money coming. Blacks and stop spending. They seen a slowdown. So the Surgeon General, the black guy that be with Donald Trump, he made a little press conference talking to black people, advising us about washing our hands and keeping our distance and staying home and stuff like that. So he kind of like was backing up the claim, you know, that the black community is spreading it or it's worse here. So I know I know there was word out that black people can't get the coronavirus, right? And that had some black people just walking around like la di da. So like about 3 weeks ago, I was wearing a mask, and I would come outside, nobody else is wearing a mask, and they're hanging out in front of the building. Anywhere I go, it's like, go to the, nobody was wearing a mask, nobody was really taking it serious. But because I took some FEMA courses some years ago, and I have some certificates um, about disaster training and stuff like that, I knew that this was it. I said, "Oh, here it comes," because I was looking at what was going on in China, and they was locking everything down and cleaning the streets and had on the hazmat suits and all kind of stuff like that. I said, "This is it. If it reach over here," I was watching it real close. I said, I'm gonna make sure I protect myself. But a lot of young kids that like to hang out and be around their friends and travel, and they don't like to stay in the house because when you was young, you didn't like staying in the house. You know what I'm saying? So it took a while before the youth, would realize, oh shit, this is serious. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime something go on, you think, oh, that's happening to them over there. You know what I'm saying? That's not over here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's about all that I have about the situation. Yeah, black people didn't really take it serious or whatever the situation is, and black people are the essential workers. The ones that that they need to continue to work while this virus is going on. You know, driving the public transportation, the MTA buses, um, operating the trains and the subways and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Restaurants or working in the stores and stuff like that. Mostly that stuff that minorities or the black people. Those are their jobs and stuff like that. And I would say Donald Trump or the governor, they was late with, they were slow with telling people it's mandatory. You need to wear a mask. You need to stay away from people and you need to stay in your house. Eventually they told people that, but they were slow with it. Like I said, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was wearing a mask. When I heard that shit was coming from China, I was automatically wearing a mask. So, I say, you know, this is something that we have to endure because of our ancestors were slaves. You know what I'm saying? So they look at us like damn near like animals or property. You know what I'm saying? That's not like far off. If that's not far fetched, like, your grandmother, your great grandmother probably was a slave. You know what I'm saying? Like two two greats away was like slaves. You understand? So it wasn't that far away. So when it comes down to it, even though You don't have blacks in the lab. They said that this coronavirus was something that spilled out of a lab. It was probably something that they wanted to get to the States and destroy us. It probably was something that they wanted to harm the U.S. About, because that big bomb they dropped on Hiroshima, they still mad about that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So, they want to get us back in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they was had something stirred up and mixed up to bring it over here to us and drop it on us, but it spilled out over there um, in their lab. You see, they was creating something to destroy us and bring it to the states. But before they could get it to the states, it spilled over in they goddamn labs. That's the way I see what happened with the coronavirus. I think it was something that they was trying to something that they mixed up in the lab or something like that, or something that happened. I don't know. I don't know because they're saying it's like they was eating the animals, the bats and the snakes, and all kind of exotics or whatever the situation is, and that's how that's where the corona. Cause I have some people that have dogs that say coronavirus is a dog's disease, and they've been feeding their dogs medicines for coronavirus. So coronavirus is nothing new. It's something that's in animals and something that you treat animals for, but it came to humans. So it had to come to humans through a way of I don't know. I guess we all eat animals, but they extra. They eating dogs, and dogs get coronavirus. They eating bats and rats and all kind of stuff like that. So they are eating to the extreme, and I don't want to eat with them no more. So that's the bottom line. That's my bottom line, and that's what I'm here to say. I don't know how much I love Chinese food, but I would advise you to leave it alone. When after they lift this ban and the businesses come back and everybody start opening up their stores and selling their goods, I would advise the black people to stay out of the Chinese stores, stop eating their food, and stop buying their products. So we made them rich, and now they trying to make us look like we nasty animals. You know what I'm saying? But here in the United States, um, they cater to us. You know what I'm saying? However, we say we want our food. We don't want the onions. We don't want vegetables. They be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like they make it. They're like no other restaurant. You can't go in any other restaurant and ask for your food to be made a certain kind of way. They make their food, and if they have something in there that you don't like and you can't pick it out, you gotta choose something else to eat. You know what I'm saying? But in a Chinese restaurant, they kind of like cater to us. You know what I'm saying? If we say we want our chicken wings chopped up and fried hard, they chop it up and fry it hard. You know what I'm saying? If we say we don't want vegetables in our rice, they don't put the vegetables. You know, if you say like I eat shrimp with broccoli. If I say I want it cooked in garlic sauce, they cook it in garlic sauce and stuff like that. So here they cater to us, but that's just to get our money, and they really don't mix with us. You don't see too many um, black interracial black and Chinese making babies like you see, interracial with Spanish and white people, but you don't see too much with China. So I'm just here to wake people up. My platform ain't that big. I'm trying to grow it, but I wish some of the celebrities with bigger platforms would advise, you know, our people how we should move and what's going on and how we being discriminated against, and whoever don't like us, we shouldn't really be spending our money with them. So that's all I got to say about that. So peace, I'm out. This is I think my first live stream or whatever. So hopefully people will watch it afterwards. Peace, I'm out. Yeah, stay safe. Keep your mouth covered. Keep your stay in the house. Keep your distancing. Be safe and cleansing.